Hello! So with all the recent updates using slime blocks, you may be wanting to try to find a slime chunk in your survival world to set up a slime farm. Now, if you're like me, you don't want to use the online slime finding apps because I feel really cheaty. I feel like that takes away from the survival Minecraft. I want to find it in-game without using any other resources. So, my method for finding them that I've found most efficient is you go into F3 and you look at chunks. You get right on a chunk border, so as you can see this one, when I cross over it goes from -17 to -18. That means I'm right on the border of a chunk here. And I start branch mining along here, creating one of these 3x3 bays every chunk. I make them 3x3 because that's how much room the largest slimes need to spawn. So that will optimize the spawning, but doesn't mean you have to clear out a huge area. So yep, you walk along here and you see how it changed from 12 to 11, and then 10 to 11, then 11 to 12. So there's 6 of these bays, and if a slime spawns in any of them, it will press this piece of wool or whatever object you want up. So then when I go through later, I can check and see whichever one has this wool pushed up, I know is a slime chunk. Now how I know this is I make sure to keep the light level, which is shown right here, at least 8 in every one of these bays, so the only mob that can spawn in them are slimes. Hostile mobs can't spawn in light levels of 8 or above. This half slabs here are so that I can view into the bay, but if for some reason slime spawns in this hallway, hops down, and then hops in, it won't affect it. Very low possibility, but it is possible. And the main things to know about slime spawning is that if they're further than 128 blocks away, they'll immediately respawn. And further than 32 blocks away, they may respawn. That's why this piston method is better than just AFKing then looking around to see where the slimes are in bays, because there's a good chance that it might have spawned, but then later despawned. But if you're within 24 blocks of the slime, or 24 blocks of a spawning pad, they won't spawn. So the best method with this is make however many bays you want, go to the center, and then dig up 24 blocks. And then that will allow them to spawn AFK for an hour or so, however long you want. Then go through and check to see which of the signals have been raised. Now, if you want to know the odds, if you have 8 spawning pads, 8 chunks, there's just over a 50% chance that there's a slime chunk in there. If there's 14 chunks, there's a 75% chance that at least one of those chunks is a slime chunk. And if there's 22 chunks, there's at least 90% chance, or there's a 90% chance that at least one of the chunks has a slime chunk. So that will help when deciding how many of these bays to make. Now, as you do it to optimize it, so this is in chunk -18, then you run across until you get 2 chunks over. So now this row will be checking -19 and -20. And I'll quickly make one for you. Just lay out your redstone down here, put redstone up to a piston, and then you have your signal block. You can do whatever block you want here. I just chose red wool because it looks bright and it's obvious. Then you fill this in, put pressure plates on top, put stone slabs down to keep some mob from randomly walking in here, and there it is. If a slime spawns in there, I'll push this up, and this red wool will still lay up, and you know that this is a slime chunk. If you accidentally press it up, just make sure to reset it. Now you can go off AFK, go mining, do whatever you want, and wait for slimes to spawn. I hope this helped you find some slimes, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great day.